He left me pregnant at 16 and blocked me on everything. I'm not saying that for pity. I'm saying it because I still can't believe it's real. It sounds like one of those stories people post on Reddit for karma or fake sympathy. But I lived it. And it broke me in ways I don't know if I'll ever fully heal from. Let me back up. My name's Ellie. I'm 17 now, but this started last year when I was still 16, stupid, naive, and in love for the first time. His name was Caleb. He wasn't some sketchy older guy. We were in the same grade. We met in biology class when the teacher forced us to dissect a frog together. I was grossed out, and he joked that mine looked like it died twice. Dumb, flirty high school humor, but it worked. He was charming in that effortless way. Messy hair. Soft voice. Made you feel like you were the only one in the room. I was a quiet girl, the good kid. Always did my homework, never went to parties. He was the opposite. Lived with his dad who let him do whatever he wanted. He had that tragic, broken look in his eyes, the kind that made girls want to fix him. And I wanted to fix him so bad. At first, it was sweet. He'd text me late at night just to ask how I was. He'd walk me home, holding my hand like I was fragile glass. He said things like, "You make me feel calm." I never feel calm. And God, did I eat that up. I felt chosen. Like I was the reason he was changing. Like I mattered more than anyone else ever had. But there were red flags. Small ones at first. He'd get weirdly possessive. Like if I didn't text back fast enough, he'd spam me with, "And where are you?" If I mentioned a guy friend, he'd go quiet for hours, then randomly pick a fight. One time he told me, "You're not like other girls, don't start acting like them." I thought it was love. I thought jealousy meant he cared. Then, there was the night everything changed. October 14th. I remember the date because it was the night of Mia's party. She was my best friend since middle school, or at least I thought she was. Caleb didn't want me to go. Parties are stupid. You don't even drink, he said. But Mia had begged me, and I needed a night out. I told Caleb he could come. He refused. Said he didn't want to watch me flirt with other guys. We fought. Hard. I almost didn't go. But I did. I wished to. The party was loud, chaotic, stupid high school chaos. Red Solo cups, bad music, people pretending to be adults. I stuck by Mia the whole time. I didn't even look at other guys. I was texting Caleb the whole night, sending him photos to prove I wasn't doing anything sketchy. He didn't respond. Around midnight, I noticed he'd left me on read. My stomach dropped. I called him. No answer. Called again. Straight to voicemail. I left the party early, heart pounding. Walked home in the cold because Mia was drunk and I didn't want to wait. The whole time I kept telling myself I was overreacting. The next morning, he finally texted, "We need to talk." My hands were shaking so hard I could barely hold my phone. We met behind the school, in that weird little alley where no one goes. He didn't even look me in the eye. Just said, "I don't think this is working." I asked why. I begged him to talk to me. He shrugged. "You're too clingy. You don't trust me." That was rich coming from him. I tried to defend myself, but he cut me off and said, "I think you should delete my number." And then, he blocked me. Everywhere. Instagram. Snapchat. Phone. Even Spotify. Who blocks someone on Spotify? I was in shock. Like, literal, physical shock. I remember sitting on the pavement after he left, just staring at my phone like it might unblock itself. Like it was a bad dream. It wasn't. That was 2 weeks before I missed my period. The first test I took was at a CVS bathroom. Classy, I know. I didn't even wait to get home. I was shaking so badly I almost dropped the stick before the result even appeared. Positive. I stared at the little plus sign for maybe 5 full minutes. Everything around me went silent. It felt like someone turned the volume of the world all the way down. I couldn't even cry. I just sat there, numb. I didn't tell anyone at first. Not even Mia. Especially not Mia. Because by then, I had already caught her texting Caleb behind my back. That's the part one haven't told anyone. 2 days after he dumped me, I saw a notification pop up on her lock screen when she was in the bathroom. You still coming over tonight? From Caleb. I opened her phone. I know. It's wrong. But tell me you wouldn't have. There were weeks of texts. Flirty ones. Inside jokes. Late night selfies. One of her in a sports bra saying, "Don't show Ellie." He was cheating. With her. My best friend and my boyfriend. I left her house without saying a word. Never looked back. Blocked her on everything, too. And now? Now I'm 17, 6 months pregnant, and living in my aunt's basement because my mom said I brought shame to the family when she found out. But you know what the real twist is? A week ago, Mia texted me from a new number. She said, "You need to know something. It's about Caleb. It's serious." I haven't answered yet. But I'm going to. Because if what I've already been through was just the beginning, God help me for what's coming next. So yeah. Mia texted me. Mia, my ex-best friend. The same girl who smiled in my face while texting my boyfriend behind my back. Who sent him mirror selfies and told him, "Don't show Ellie." Who I trusted like a sister. And now she wants to talk? The message sat in my inbox for 2 full days. You need to know something. It's about Caleb. It's serious. I didn't reply at first. I wanted to delete it. I wanted to scream. I wanted to throw my phone across the room. But I was 6 months pregnant, bloated, exhausted, and barely keeping it together. Curiosity is a sick thing. It eats at you. I finally gave in. What? I texted back. Cold. 1 word. She didn't deserve more. She replied immediately. Not over text. Please. Can we talk in person? I swear it's not what you think. Oh really, Mia? Not what I think? You mean you didn't knowingly screw my boyfriend behind my back while I was carrying his child? What could possibly make this better? Still. I agreed to meet. Why? I wish I had a good answer. I guess I needed something. Some clarity. Some answers. Maybe even closure. Maybe I wanted her to feel guilty, to look her in the eyes and watch her squirm. We met at this crappy diner on the edge of town. I picked the place on purpose. Somewhere public. Neutral ground. I got there early, sat in a booth with my hoodie up, hand on my belly like a shield. When she walked in, I barely recognized her. She looked tired. Pale. Like she hadn't slept. Hair in a messy bun, oversized hoodie, no makeup. Not the confident, pretty, attention-hungry girl I remembered. She saw me, gave a small wave, and sat down across from me like we weren't sitting on top of a nuclear bomb. Neither of us spoke for a second. Finally, she whispered, "You look good." I didn't say anything. I just stared at her. Then she said the one thing I didn't expect. I didn't sleep with Caleb. I rolled my eyes so hard I saw my childhood. Oh, please. I saw the texts, Mia. She nodded, biting her lip. I know. You saw the flirting. And I'm not saying I was innocent. I was stupid. And desperate. And I liked the attention. But I didn't sleep with him. I swear to God. I wanted to believe that. I didn't. But I wanted to. Then she leaned in and said, "But I know who he was sleeping with." I froze. He was cheating on both of us, she said, eyes wide. There was someone else. She told me Caleb had been seeing an older girl. A college girl. One of Mia's cousin's friends. Apparently, they met at some party. Mia said she only found out a few weeks ago, after she and Caleb stopped talking. She's 21, Mia said, almost whispering like it was a dirty secret. And she's pregnant too. I swear my heart stopped. What? I asked, my voice breaking. She's like 2 months behind you. Her name's Sarah. I only found out because she posted something on her close friend's story about being scared to be a single mom. And she tagged Caleb. He didn't even try to hide it. I was shaking. I couldn't breathe. I asked, "Does she know about me?" Mia looked down. "I don't think so. I don't think either of you knew about each other." My hands were trembling under the table. 2 girls. 2 pregnancies. 1 coward of a boy who ghosted us both. Then Mia dropped another bomb. "Ellie. I think he's leaving town." "What?" "I heard from someone at school that his dad's moving to Florida. Like, next week. He's going with him." Just like that, he was going to vanish. Run from the mess he made. Leave us, to deal with it. That night, I couldn't sleep. I just sat in the dark, rubbing my belly, feeling this tiny human kick and twist inside me. I thought about all the things I'd believed about Caleb. About us. About love. How many lies had I swallowed just to feel wanted? The next day, I did something reckless. I showed up at his house. I know. Dumb. Messy. Desperate. But I needed answers. I needed to see him even if it was for the last time. I needed him to look me in the eye and say he didn't care. I needed closure. I knocked 3 times. No answer. The house looked half-packed, boxes by the window, curtains missing. Then, the door opened. But it wasn't Caleb. It was his dad. Tall, drunk, and angry. He stepped out onto the porch and slurred, "What the hell do you want?" I just need to talk to Caleb. Please." He scoffed. "You one of his little girlfriends?" I didn't say anything. He looked me up and down, saw the bump. Laughed bitterly. "Figures. You're not the first one showing up here knocked up." That's when I realized. Caleb's dad knew. He knew what kind of kid he was raising. And he didn't care. "He's not here," he said, stepping back inside. "And even if he was, he wouldn't want to see you. So do yourself a favor and go home, sweetheart. You're on your own." He slammed the door in my face. I stood there for maybe 5 full minutes, just breathing. Just trying not to cry. And then I walked away. But here's the thing. As I was walking down the street, this car pulled up next to me. Window down. It was a girl. Maybe early 20s. Brown hair. Tired eyes. She looked at me and said, "Are you Ellie?" I froze. "Yes." She swallowed. "I'm Sarah." And just like that, everything flipped upside down. Again. Sarah. The girl from Mia's story. The other pregnant girl. She pulled up in a dusty Honda, window halfway down, face pale like she hadn't slept in days. Her eyes met mine, and for a moment we just stared at each other, 2 girls who didn't ask for this. 2 girls who fell for the same lie. I had no idea what to say. Finally, she broke the silence. "Can we talk somewhere?" I hesitated. Every instinct in me wanted to run. Hide. Curl up in my aunt's basement and pretend none of this was happening. But I was already so far past normal life that I just nodded. We drove to the park a few blocks away. The same one Caleb and I used to sit at after school. We'd swing like kids and pretend the world wasn't heavy. Back when I thought love was enough. Back when I thought he chose me. We sat on the swings now like ghosts. Different kind of silence between us. Then she said softly, almost like she didn't want to hear it herself. "He told me you were his crazy ex." I let out a bitter laugh. "Classic. He said you were obsessed. That you faked being pregnant to trap him." I stared at her, eyes burning. "And you believed him?" Sarah looked down at her lap. "At first? Yeah. He was so convincing. So sweet. Said you threatened him? That you stalked him. I even told him he should block you for his own peace." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Or maybe I could. Caleb was always good with words. With twisting reality until he was the victim. Then she whispered something I didn't expect. "I'm sorry." My throat tightened. I didn't know. I swear. I thought I was helping him, helping us. And now I'm here. 5 months pregnant. Alone. We sat in silence again, both of us blinking back tears, trying not to break. Then I asked, "Why did you reach out now?" She reached into her hoodie pocket and pulled out a folded piece of paper. Because of this. It was a paternity test. With another name listed. Not Caleb's. Not mine. A girl named Jessica. She handed it to me and said, "You're not the only one. I found this in his backpack. 3 girls. At least 3 pregnancies. And Caleb? Nowhere to be found." We spent the next hour piecing together the wreckage like detectives of our own disaster. Sarah had met him at a party through mutual friends. He told her he wasn't ready to date, that he was healing from a toxic girl named Ellie who tried to control him. They started sleeping together after 3 weeks. She thought she was his only one. She wasn't. Jessica, the third girl, was someone he apparently dated before me. She was 18 and out of school. No one even knew they were talking again. But according to the test results, she'd also been pregnant. She must have had a miscarriage or abortion, because the paper was dated months ago. And Caleb? He was just collecting damage. Jumping girl to girl, leaving behind broken pieces and positive tests. Sarah looked at me and said something that shook me. "I don't think he's capable of love. I think he just likes control." I felt that in my bones. Because when I thought back to all our fights, the way he isolated me, the way he made me feel like I was the problem, it wasn't just immaturity. It was manipulation. And suddenly everything clicked. This wasn't a love story gone wrong. This was a pattern. I went home that night and cried harder than I ever had in my life. Not just because of him. But because I realized. I didn't even know who I was anymore. I was a teenager. I should have been stressing over math tests, not ultrasounds. I should have been picking prom dresses, not baby names. But now, I was carrying the child of a boy who never even planned to stay. A boy who wrecked lives like it was sport. And worst of all? I still missed him sometimes. Isn't that sick? Even after everything, some broken part of me still longed for those first sweet moments. When he'd kiss my forehead and say I made him feel safe. When I thought I mattered. But I was just a pit stop in his mess. We all were. 2 days later, I got a call. From Jessica. She said, "You don't know me, but I need to tell you something. It's about Caleb. It's about why he's really leaving." I asked, "Isn't he moving with his dad?" She paused. Then said something I never expected. "Caleb's not leaving because of his dad. Caleb's leaving because someone pressed charges." My heart stopped. What? What kind of charges? She hesitated. Then. Statutory rape. Sarah's older. But you. You were 16. And your mom? She filed the report. I was speechless. Wait, my mom? Yeah, she said. I overheard it. Apparently someone told her everything, and she went straight to the police. She didn't even tell you? I hung up the phone, hands shaking. My mom, the same woman who kicked me out, who called me a disgrace, who said I ruined everything, had secretly pressed charges against Caleb to protect me. But that wasn't the end. Because that night, I found a letter tucked inside my old school bag. A note I never saw before. It was from Caleb. And it wasn't what I expected. I didn't even know the letter was there. It was folded into quarters and shoved deep into the side pocket of my school bag, the one I hadn't used since I dropped out. It smelled like dust, cheap perfume, and heartbreak. I only found it because I was digging for a notebook to journal everything Sarah and Jessica had told me. When I pulled it out, my stomach dropped. My name was scrawled across the front in Caleb's messy handwriting. No envelope. No date. Just Ellie written like he was in a hurry, or scared. For a solid 10 minutes, I stared at it without opening it. I held it in my hands like it might explode. I wanted to rip it up. Burn it. Throw it in the trash and pretend none of this happened. But you know I didn't. I opened it. Ellie. I don't even know if you'll ever read this. I left it in your bag because I didn't know how to say this to your face. You probably hate me. You should. I deserve it. But before I go, there are things you need to know. First, yes, I blocked you. Yes, I left. Yes, I messed up. I panicked. I'm not proud of it. You didn't do anything wrong. Second, I never stopped caring about you. I know that probably makes you want to scream, but it's true. You were the only person who actually saw me. Who made me feel like I could be good. I didn't know how to hold on to that. Third, there's something I never told you. Something about my family. My dad isn't just moving because of his job. He's running. From a debt. From people. From stuff that's not safe. He got into some bad things years ago, and now it's catching up. I've been caught in the middle since I was a kid. The truth is, I've never had a stable life. I lie because it's survival. I manipulate people because it keeps them from getting too close. You got too close. And I got scared. But there's something else. Something I'm not supposed to say. If the baby's mine. I hope someday you'll let me see them. I know I don't deserve it, but I'll always wonder. If the baby's not mine. Then you and I are both being played. Ask Mia. Ask her what she knows about the night of the party. Ask her who dropped you off. Ask her what she did with my phone. You think I'm the only liar in this story? You don't even know the half of it. Caleb. I read it 3 times. The first time, I was numb. The second time, I was angry. The third time, I started shaking. Because suddenly, things weren't adding up. That night. The party. The weird gaps in my memory. I remembered being tired. Too tired. Dizzy. Like I hadn't eaten, even though I had. I didn't drink, I never drank, but something had felt off. I left early. Alone, I thought. But the more I replayed it in my head, the fuzzier it got. Did Mia drive me home? No. I walked, didn't I? Wait, didn't someone pull up in a car? Did I get in? I couldn't remember. And Caleb's words, ask Mia what she did with my phone, started drilling into my skull. I called her. I didn't want to. I didn't trust her. But this wasn't about her anymore, this was about truth. About my baby. About me not being played again. She picked up on the second ring. Mia. I need you to tell me something. And I swear to God, if you lie to me again, I'll make your life hell. She didn't say anything. Who drove me home the night of the party? Silence. Mia. She sighed. You did. No. Don't do that. Don't lie. Caleb said you know something. More silence. Then, in the tiniest voice I've ever heard from her. It wasn't him that blocked you. I froze. What? I had his phone. That night. You left it on the couch at the party when you ran outside crying. He came looking for you, but I grabbed it first. I saw your texts. I got jealous. I was drunk and stupid and I blocked you myself. My throat went dry. You what? I blocked you on everything. From his phone. I deleted your number. I erased everything. And then I told him you were the one who ghosted him. I couldn't breathe. You lied to both of us. I was in love with him, she whispered, like that made it okay. I thought if I erased you, he'd move on. I didn't know you were pregnant. I swear I didn't know. I hung up. I didn't even have the energy to scream. I sat there for hours, curled up on the floor of my room, staring at my belly. At this little bump that held a life I didn't ask for, but now loved more than anything. My mind was a tornado. If Caleb didn't block me. If he never got my texts. If Mia was the one who started this whole spiral. Then maybe I'd still be in school. Maybe he would have stayed. Maybe I wouldn't be here. But that wasn't even the worst part. Because after all that? That night, Sarah sent me another message. I found something in Caleb's closet. Something about you. I didn't open it right away. Because I knew. Deep down. This story still wasn't over. Sarah's text sat on my phone screen, glowing in the dark. I found something in Caleb's closet. Something about you. I didn't open the photos right away. I just stared at her message like it was a trap, like once I saw what she found, I couldn't unsee it. Couldn't go back to pretending this was just a sad breakup or a teenage screw-up that spiraled too far. This was deeper. Darker. And part of me already knew, whatever she found, it wasn't going to make anything better. It was going to break something worse. I finally typed back. What is it? She answered instantly. I was packing up his room with his dad. He didn't know I was there. There was a locked box in the closet. I broke it open. You need to see what was inside. Then she sent the first photo. And my stomach dropped. It was a notebook. A thick, beat-up black one, pages yellowed at the edges. In Caleb's handwriting. I knew it instantly, the half-cursive, half-print style he used to write his dumb song lyrics and bad poetry in bio class. The first page was just my name. Over and over and over. Ellie. 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 Pages of it. My name scribbled, scratched, bolded, circled. Dozens of times. Like obsession. Like fixation. Sarah had sent more pictures. The next ones were harder to look at. Drawings. Some of me. From behind. Sitting in class. Walking home. One of them looked like me sitting in the park on a swing. I didn't even remember him being there. The captions under the drawings made my skin crawl. She doesn't know I'm watching. Mine. She smiled at someone else today. I hate it. If I lose her, I'll lose everything. No one loves her like I do. It was a stalker diary. An actual stalker diary. Sarah kept sending photos. I wanted to scream at her to stop, but I couldn't tear my eyes away. He'd written about everything. Conversations we had. Things I said that I barely remembered. What I wore. Who I talked to. How long I hugged people. He even wrote about watching me sleep. She left her window cracked last night. I could have climbed in. Would she be scared or excited? I just wanted to be close. I felt sick. I ran to the bathroom and threw up so hard I thought I'd pass out. My legs were shaking. My vision blurred. And the worst part? I remembered that night. I had left the window cracked. It was hot out and I couldn't sleep. I remember thinking I felt watched. I even got up and closed it, eventually. I thought it was just nerves. Pregnancy paranoia. But he'd been there. Outside. Watching. The last photo Sarah sent wasn't of the notebook. It was a folded piece of paper. Taped inside the lid of the box. Like a final message. A sick trophy. If I can't have her, no one will. She'll always be mine. Even if I have to disappear. That line keeps playing in my head. Over. And over. And over. I didn't reply to Sarah for a while. I just sat there in silence, clutching my phone, my heartbeat louder than anything else in the room. I felt like I'd been in love with a stranger, someone wearing Caleb's face but hiding a twisted version of him underneath. The charming boy with the soft voice. The broken soul I thought I could fix. The kid who kissed my forehead and called me his safe place. That was never real. Or maybe it was, but it came with darkness I didn't see. And now? I was carrying his child. I finally messaged Sarah back. Keep the notebook safe. Don't show his dad. Not yet. She agreed. She said she'd hide it, for now. Then she asked me something I hadn't expected. Do you ever wonder if he wanted us to get pregnant? I stared at the message, my blood running cold. Because I had wondered. But I'd never said it out loud. There were moments, tiny, suspicious ones, where I remembered how careless he'd been. How he'd insisted he was careful, but never actually let me take control. How he'd laugh and say, "It's fine, I'd take care of you," when I brought up birth control. Like he wanted me stuck. Like he wanted me trapped. Like if he couldn't keep me by charm, he'd keep me with a baby. The next morning, I made a decision. I walked to the police station. Not because I knew exactly what to say, I didn't. Not because I had a plan, I didn't. But because I couldn't stay silent anymore. I asked to speak to the officer handling the previous report my mom had filed. Yeah, that part was true. She had reported Caleb after finding out he was 18 and I was only 16 at the time. They brought me into a small room. I gave them everything, the texts, the notebook photos, the drawings. I told them about the stalking. About the manipulation. About the other girls. I was shaking the whole time, but I did it. And at the end, the officer looked me in the eye and said, "We'll look into this. But I need you to understand, this might take time. Especially if he's already left the state." He was leaving. But now I knew why he was running. And what scared me most? I didn't think it was just because of the pregnancy, or the report. I think Caleb knew something was coming. Something bigger. Because 2 nights later, someone tried to break into my aunt's house. I woke up to the sound of the dog barking. At first, I thought it was just a raccoon or something dumb. My aunt's beagle, Daisy, barks at leaves if they blow the wrong way. I rubbed my eyes and turned over, trying to calm the pounding in my chest. But something felt off. Daisy wasn't barking like she normally does. She was growling. Deep, low, warning growls. And then I heard it. A thud. Right outside the window. Every hair on my body stood up. My room's in the basement. The small window near my bed leads to the backyard, mostly dirt and patchy grass. No one goes back there. No reason to. Unless they were trying not to be seen. I froze. My phone was across the room, charging. My pregnant ass wasn't exactly fast or graceful anymore. My first thought was run. My second thought was no, stay still. Then came another sound. The creak of the gate. Someone was outside. Someone was close. And then. A shadow passed across the window. Just a second. But long enough. I saw boots. Jeans. A figure. Too tall to be my aunt. Too quiet to be anyone friendly. By the time I grabbed my phone and called 911, they were gone. Vanished into the night like smoke. The police came, shined flashlights around, asked questions. I was shaking so bad I could barely form words. My aunt kept asking, "Are you sure it wasn't an animal?" But I knew what I saw. Someone was there. And they were watching me. But the cops didn't find anything. No footprints, no fingerprints. Just a broken twig under the window and a half-torn corner of paper stuck in the gate. I almost didn't notice it. But when I did, I swear my blood froze. It was part of a page, torn, water-stained, smudged. But I recognized the handwriting immediately. Caleb's. 3 words scribbled in black pen. "You ruined me." I didn't sleep that night. How could I? I laid in bed holding my stomach, whispering to the baby that everything would be okay even though I wasn't sure it would be. I tried to convince myself it couldn't be him. That maybe it was a sick prank, or some coincidence. But I knew. It was him. He hadn't left town. He was still here. The next day, I met with Sarah in person. I needed someone who understood. Someone who believed me. We sat in her car, parked outside her job, and I showed her the paper scrap. She didn't even flinch. "He's unraveling," she said. "You pushed back. You stood up. Guys like him? They don't handle that well." Then she told me something I didn't expect. "You're not the only one he's watching." My head whipped toward her. "What?" She looked nervous. Pale. "He messaged me yesterday. From a fake Instagram account. I only figured it out because he used an old nickname he gave me that no one else knows. He said something like, 'You think Ellie will save you?' I felt cold all over. This wasn't just about a breakup. Or a baby. Or jealousy. This was about control. He had lost his grip on all of us, and now he was trying to scare us back into place. Later that night, I sat alone in my room and opened the notebook app on my phone. I started writing everything out, every detail, every memory, every red flag I ignored. It wasn't for the police. It wasn't even for Caleb. It was for me. So I wouldn't forget. Because trauma is slippery. It fades when you want to hold it. It screams when you want silence. And part of me still wanted to believe he was the boy I first met in bio class. The one who made me laugh. The one who kissed my forehead and said I made him feel calm. But that boy never existed. Or if he did, he drowned in whatever darkness Caleb carried inside him. I was in the middle of writing when a new message popped up. Blocked number. No name. Just one sentence. You think you're safe because people believe you. But I know the truth. I dropped my phone. Hands shaking. And then came a second message. You were never innocent, Ellie. You liked the attention. Don't lie to yourself. I felt like I couldn't breathe. Like my chest was filling with cement. He was trying to gaslight me. Still. Even after everything. And yet. For a second, a tiny second. I started to question myself. What if I had led him on too much? What if I had missed the signs? What if I wasn't a victim? And then I snapped myself out of it. No. I was a kid. He was older. He manipulated me. He lied. He cheated. He stalked me. He watched me sleep. And now, he was terrorizing me. I wasn't guilty. I was scared. I was done. The next morning, I got a call from Jessica. She sounded panicked. Sarah's gone, she said. Her mom said she never came home last night. My heart nearly stopped. What do you mean gone? I mean, her car's still in the lot. She didn't text anyone. And Caleb's fake account? It stopped posting right after she disappeared. I could barely speak. Jessica said she was driving to the police station. She wanted me to meet her there. Something's wrong, she kept repeating. I think he finally snapped. And that's when it hit me. This was never just a messy relationship. It was never just teenage drama. This was dangerous. The police station was cold and smelled like stale coffee and lost hopes. Jessica was already there when I arrived, pacing nervously by the front desk. Have they found anything? I asked, voice barely above a whisper. She shook her head. Nothing. Sarah's phone is off. Her social media is silent. It's like she disappeared. My heart felt like it had dropped into a black hole. I wanted to scream at the world, at Caleb, at everyone who let this happen. Then a detective approached us, holding a small, crumpled envelope. He looked grave. We found this near the edge of town, close to some woods, he said, handing it to me. I unfolded it with trembling hands. It was a note. Written in Caleb's handwriting. You can run. You can hide. But the truth will find you. I will find you. I felt every breath catch in my lungs. It wasn't just a threat. It was a promise. As the investigation dragged on, pieces of the puzzle started falling into place: Caleb's manipulation, the multiple pregnancies, Sarah's disappearance. But there was one last secret buried so deep it shook me to my core. Sarah had found out the truth about Caleb's family, about why his dad was running. It wasn't just debt or danger from the past. It was worse. Caleb's dad was involved in something illegal, something that put Caleb and every girl who got close to him at risk. And now, with Sarah missing and Caleb vanished, I realized that this story was far from over. I'm still scared. Still pregnant. Still fighting to protect the life growing inside me. But now, I know one thing for sure. Some secrets refuse to stay buried. And some monsters don't stay hidden forever. End of story, for now.